Okay, so let's continue. I was just telling you folks what I thought about treasury throw. Skeletal, and of course it's not a pick, in case this is the only video of these. These are all on the same playlist, and this is the second video where I'm going through a Teysa Karlov deck, just in case you landed in this video out of somewhere else and you have not seen the previous video. This is number 2, and I'm going through all these cards that I'm going to pick for a commander build. Okay, that's the intro for this one. This is from the guild kit. Enters the battlefield, 2 tokens, sack a bat, create 2 black bats. That's great if you were in a bad deck. I'm not sure I care for that here. 7/4/4, sack for 3 and create a token. Afterlife 3. Nah, I don't think so. Destroy target permanent. Target permanent. That's pretty serious. Okay, let's give it a second round. I played with this card. It is way too heavy as a 7/4/4, but whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, destroy that creature. It really is worth a second look, especially in Commander. Okay, so that takes care of that. Those are the creatures that are clearly Orzhov or from the guild kit that are not in Ravnica 3. Okay, so that's that group. Let me keep my piles. I always mess up my piles. Target opponent discards 2 cards and you gain 2 life for 4. No. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control that were destroyed this way. Yeah, sure. This guy's fantastic. I've played him. So good. Return each creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. We'll think about it because we have to have a lot of this on the same. So, but it's definitely worth a second look. Each opponent loses 2 times X life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. When each opponent is more than 1, that's actually something worth having. These cards always suck, even though I love collecting them. A little boost, a little negative, no. Destroy target monocolor creature, yeah. The charms are auto includes, I think. Return target creature you control and all auras you control attached to it to their owner's hand. Not sure I'm going to do that, but yeah. Destroy target creature and you lose life equal to its toughness. That's good to get rid of something that's really being a bit of a wall pain. Return target creature card with CMC 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's okay, because that can be a great way to bring back a sack outlet. As an additional cost to cast this spell, pay 5 life or sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature. No. Exile target card from a graveyard and draw a card. That's pretty good. For 4, target player sacks a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control and you gain life equal. Yeah, that's actually worth a second look. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, for sure, yeah. Destroy target creature of enchantment. I want it. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has flying and lifelink. I love the artwork on this card. I'm not sure I want to play it. I have played it. It didn't really help me when I did years ago. Enchant creature can, so this is a pacifism. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. That's a small clock on something. It's worth a second look. -2, -2. That player loses 2 life. It's a good sting. I'll think about it. Can't attack or block. Another pacifism, a little too heavy. Yeah, it's a little too heavy. But I'll keep it for a second look. Boost all your creatures is an enchantment. Sorry, I hit the tripod, folks. Yeah, it's a little heavy, but I'm sure it's fine in Commander. This guy, for sure I want. Devotion to black and white to the max. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It's a little heavy, but you're in Commander. Yeah, I really want this. This is from the guild kit. Okay, these are the cards that I didn't really, that were more like a pass. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to look at these cards again. I think the selections that I'm making right now, these cards are not coming back to the build. Okay, so now, so I already have a big pile for the selection video. Yeah, pile's getting big, and we've got all those cards to go through. Okay, you get my bearings here. This guy is great. Enters the battlefield, drops you a token. That draws you a card. I love it. Embalms, so you exile it from your graveyard and you create a token. That is fantastic. Replaces himself, yeah. Good, but I think we're going to have other better critters, even though it's a flyer 1/1. Attacks with at least 2 other creatures, create a token. It's worth thinking about. Gains death touch, that's also worth thinking about. You're sacking creatures, this thing can get big. Yeah, why not? Eternalize creates a 4/4 token, and it's a double striker, 2/1/1. I don't know, I gotta think about that one. I do not know how much death and taxes I want to do in this build, but this is good for that because each player can't draw more than 1 card in each turn. I'm going to pass on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. It's a little bit of a wall as a 0/5. I want to consider it. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cost abilities to trigger. Don't want that because it's going to hurt me as much as the other players. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1. That's going to be hard in Commander, I think, because it's the odds of it coming in first turn are low. This is a much better critter in Constructed. The one-sided Thalia, I do have a Thalia somewhere. Didn't find her. Spells your opponent can cast cost 1 more to cast. He's a 2/2/1 with Afterlife. I'll keep him for a second look. When it dies, create a token worth a second look. When it enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield, you put this at the end of your end step. You get a token because something else left the battlefield. Got a better critters. Enters the battlefield, exile target creature and opponent controls until it leaves. Yeah, that's a good critter. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. That's good, I think. It's going to boost your tokens. When this guy or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. That's nice. 2 tap it, sack another permanent, transform it. And the transform is what I really, really like. When this dude or another creature you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So it's a Sulaport Cutthroat, 2/4. When Fiend Hunter enters the battlefield, you may exile another target creature. Yeah, why not? On your number of critters, it gets big. I'll consider it. For 2, exile this dude from your graveyard and put a 1/1 token. It's a 3/3/2. Yeah, worth considering. A flyer with Vigilance and Lifelink, but it doesn't do anything with tokens, so I'm going to pass. Servos and Thopters you control get +1/+1. We're not on that in this deck, unfortunately, and the 4-drop to create a token is a little too heavy, so I'm going to pass. Double Striker. Again, the Revolt trigger on your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, and it's a 3/2/2 double striker. I like it. Each player can cast more than one spell each turn. I I'm not on death and taxes, so I'm going to pass. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tap. I like that a lot. First strike, put a 1/1 token, 3/2. I'm going to pass because I have better critters, but it's pretty good. Lowly common from core sets. Pull this guy out of a pack in which there was another mythic. Incredibly enough, for Born of the Gods, which of course is a terrible set by all standards, I cracked a pack and it had a mythic rare, one of the gods, and it had this dude. So whenever Brimas attacks, put a 1/1 white cat soldier creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield attacking, and when it blocks a creature, put a cat token. So yeah, cat tokens galore. 3/1 with Afterlife. So when you sack it, you get 2 tokens. I'm gonna pass for now, probably forever. 4/3/1, pay 3, exile it from your graveyard, put 2 tokens. I think I have better ways to get tokens. Felidar Guardian, which doesn't deserve any introduction, doesn't need an introduction, is a flicker. I'm not sure how many flicker effects I have in here. That is how many cards that when they enter the battlefield drop tokens. I don't think I'm going to have enough because I have some that trigger tokens when they die and other ways, but not when they enter the battlefield. So I'm going to say no. Even though right after it we have a Fabricate card, so it can drop me 2 servos, 2 1/1s, and it's a 4/2/1. I'm going to leave it for now. Audric, you can choose combat. Not sure I'm going to need them in this deck. Create a single 1/1 token. I'm going to pass on that. Double strike, indestructible. Can't attack or block unless you control at least 3 other creatures. I'm going to be dropping tokens left and right, so that's going to happen a lot, even if I get board wiped. And then for 4, I can get another token, and this will survive some board wipes. So yeah, a flyer 4/2/3 with Afterlife. I'm going to pass. Then the Archangel. When it enters the battlefield, your creatures gain indestructible. It's got flash, so we cannot forget that. And it flips to red, which is now, it's not a casting cost, so it doesn't matter that it flips to red in a Commander white black deck. Anybody who knows more than I do, tell me I'm wrong that this card belongs in this deck. Technically, when a non-angel creature you control dies, transform it at the beginning of the next upkeep. It's going to happen a lot in this deck. Flying, when it transforms, it deals 3 damage to each other creature and each opponent. This could be your way to wipe out everything with a Blood Artist on the board. I'm going to think about it. It's got an Embalmed Claws, so it's going to give a white zombie angel. It's a copy of it, so it's going to be a 3/4. Enters the battlefield, exile target non-permanent. Yeah, that's worth considering. This one is not, I'm not sure. I'm not on angels. I don't know how many angels are going to end up in my final build. I'm going to leave it for my final build just in case I get enough angels. I want the bird because when it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, you get a 3/4 bird with flying. So I like that. Afterlife 1 on a 5/3/3. No. Somebody's pinging me. At the beginning of each combat, you can choose First Strike, Vigilance, or Lifelink, and creatures you control gain that ability. A 6/4/4 Flying Angel. I'll consider it. Then enters the battlefield, create a single token. No. Other permanents you control are indestructible. 8/8/8 Flying with Vigilance. That's pretty serious stuff. I'll probably gonna make the final build. Okay, so I'm done with that, and look at this. I've only gone through maybe 1/3 of the cards. I guess we're gonna be here for a while. If you guys are game for it, I'm gonna keep going.